Welcome, friends. We're all going through a lot together now. We've been reminded that in times of crisis, our priorities change. It becomes clear what is really important and what we can do without. At the same time, we may find ourselves thinking about what might be called philosophical or spiritual questions that previously seemed far removed from our busy lives. The non-dual teachings provide answers to these questions. They point the way out of fear and towards the highest possible fulfillment. The teachings are radical, and it may not always be obvious how they can help us personally. But now, when we are prompted to think again more deeply about what matters most, we may see how relevant and satisfying these teachings are. We said the teachings are radical. In what sense? Non-dual means not two. And what this means is that in spite of the variety and diversity we see on the surface, there is an underlying unity. So where we usually see divisions, there is really oneness. Most of all, we all experience a division between our individual self and everything else. And this feeling of separation is where our insecurities and vulnerabilities come from. But in truth, we're not really separate. Separations appear when we look at things from a certain standpoint. And this standpoint is not the highest truth. Our deeper self is at one with the reality which is always there, before, during, and after every event, every life. Does this reality have a name? We can call it God, the Absolute, the Infinite, the Supreme. The heart of the non-dual teachings is that our innermost self and the Absolute are not really two different beings. In times of trouble, indeed, always, we can appeal to God for help, and we may receive some relief. But the way to lasting inner freedom and security is to know that ultimately we ourselves are not separate from that supreme being to which we are appealing. Why do we not usually see this? The short answer is that we always experience things through our mind and senses. And the mind and senses divide the world into parts in order to perceive and understand it. But the underlying reality itself has no such divisions. We might say, this is all very well as a philosophical theory, but how does it help me in my life now? The answer is that there is something in our own experience which is not limited by the mind either, And it is in this region of experience that we can discover our oneness with the All. What aspects of experience are we referring to? It is something so close and so familiar that we fail to notice it. It is our consciousness, the light of awareness in us. The normal view of consciousness is that it depends on the mind. The non-dual view is that consciousness comes first. It is the very foundation of our being. Consciousness, when fully understood, turns out to be identical with the Supreme Being, the Absolute, God. And this is the ultimate truth about our nature. It is here that lasting inner security and fulfillment are to be found. If these ideas arouse our interest and we want to go more deeply into them, what is the way forward? It is to take up the meditations and other practices which are based on the non-dual principles and the advice offered by those who have gone before. Meditation is partly an exercise in concentration, which takes perseverance. But even from the beginning, it promises an expanding horizon. In our lives, we have innumerable experiences of all kinds: good, bad, exceptional, ordinary. And these experiences have given us some sense of the wonder of life and its possibilities. But what reveals all experience is the light of consciousness. Day and night, sun and clouds, excitement, dullness. Even dreaming and waking are all known in the light of conscious awareness, which shines on each of them equally. Consciousness itself is unique. It is not revealed by anything else. It shines by its own light. Without that light, no other experience would be possible. In this way, consciousness is the source of the world as we experience it. So with help from the non-dual teachings, we begin to see that there is no boundary separating our own consciousness, our own inner being, from the universal, absolute consciousness in which everything exists. Through our meditations, if we keep going, our understanding and experience of this essential oneness with the Supreme will deepen. So let us come to our meditation. We are going to do a set of practices which fit together and help us step by step. We begin our practice with an inner preparation. Why do we do this? It is because in meditation we use our individual mental powers, including our concentration and our will. But the aim of meditation is to bring into play a power within us that is more than personal, the power that underlies the universe. A recognition of the deeper reality on which we all depend opens up a great new source of strength and support. So let us approach the meditation with respect and calmness, feeling the presence of the reality beyond thoughts within and around us. We'll do this for a minute together now. Next, we're going to do a breathing practice. We breathe consciously, slowly, deeply. If possible, breathe through the nose. Keep the in-breath and the out-breath the same length. When this rhythmic breathing is established, on the in-breath, say to yourself the word here, and on the out-breath, now. By focusing on the here and now, we put aside the endless concerns about what might happen or could have happened, which is a great relief. And it is in the present that we can find moments of timelessness, as when we are absorbed in something we love. It is only our thoughts that hide the reality and infinity of our own deeper nature. So let us do the breathing practice together now, and we'll do it for 5 minutes. We breathe consciously and slightly more deeply than usual. If possible, breathe through the nose. Keep the in-breath and the out-breath the same length. When this rhythmic breathing is established, on the in-breath, say to yourself the word here, and on the out-breath, now. slow breathing. Here, now. Next, we are going to practice a way of freeing ourselves from unnecessary thoughts. Sit quiet. Continue with the conscious breathing. Then just calmly watch your mind. So give the mind free scope and allow whatever thoughts come up to appear. But don't let your attention be absorbed by any of the thoughts. Instead, say to each thought, "Not now, not needed now," and continue to be the calm observer of the mind. If we do this practice at the meditation time, we will notice a difference during the day. We'll find ourselves becoming more aware of what is going on in our mind, which is already a big step towards inner freedom. During the practice itself, we may find thoughts coming up that we don't want to say "not wanted to." For example, thoughts about people close to us. Should we say to them, "not wanted now"? Let us remember that there is a difference between the passing thoughts we have about people and the people themselves. In this practice, it is only the habitual thought patterns we are learning to loosen, so that we can get more in touch with their reality. So let's do this liberating practice together now. And we do it for 5 minutes. Sit quiet. Continue with the conscious breathing. Then just calmly watch your mind. So give the mind free scope and allow whatever thoughts come up to appear. But don't let yourself be absorbed by any of the thoughts. Instead, say to each thought, not now, not needed now, and continue to be the calm observer of the mind. We say to each thought, not now, not needed now, and continue to be the calm observer of the mind. Now we are going to meditate on this text. I am the light that reveals the passing thoughts. I am self-illumined, infinite, one in all. In this text, the word I doesn't mean our body or even our mind. It is the true, deeper I which animates and reveals them, and which is not separate from the Absolute God, the Supreme Consciousness that makes everything possible. Let's do this meditation together now for 6 minutes. Repeat the text to yourself a few times until you have the main idea in focus. Then try to keep your attention on that. If the mind wanders off, when you become aware of this, calmly go back to the text and its meaning. Absorb your attention in the great truth expressed in the text. Om. I am the light that reveals the passing thoughts. I am self-illumined, infinite, one in all. I am the light that reveals the passing thoughts. I am self-illumined, infinite, one in all. I am the light that reveals the passing thoughts. I am self-illumined, infinite, one in all. The final part of our meditation session is a closing practice. Just as it is helpful to begin with a preparation for meditation, it is also helpful to end by preparing ourselves to resume our roles in the world while retaining the benefits of meditation. We can make this step by spending a few moments offering thoughts of unconditional goodwill to all, based on the vision of ultimate oneness. So let's do this together now, remembering the deeper unity, the wholeness that underlies variety. We wish that all may find inner peace and well-being. Friends, let's remember that at any time we can bring to mind one of the practices we have just done. We can breathe consciously, or dismiss unnecessary thoughts, or recall the meditation. If we like philosophy and reasoning, we're encouraged to think deeply about the non-dual teachings. But it is practice that leads us from uncertainty to the sure knowledge of our own nature as self-illumined, infinite, one in all, always here, always now. Thank you for joining me. It is always good to be together in the light.